All right. Mr. Driscoll. Do you remember Mr. Driscoll?
Yes.
You do. Tell me what you remember about Mr. Driscoll.
He was a tall man. He had a background in litigation.
He was a tall man? Is that what you
Yes.
remember?
Yes.
Okay. What else do you remember?
He had a background in litigation.
What else?
That's about it.
So he was a tall and he was a litigator. That's all you got.
Yes.
You don't remember anything else?
Not specifically, no.
Did you work closely with Mr. Driscoll while he was here?
We worked together for a short period of time, yes.
4 days, in fact, wasn't it?
I don't recall specifically.
What happened to Mr. Driscoll?
I believe Mr. Driscoll was terminated.
Do you believe or no?
I don't recall. I believe that he was terminated.
He was terminated. Why was he terminated?
I have no idea.
None?
Specifically now, no, I do not know.
And you thought Mr. Driscoll was a good guy then, right?
I never said that. I
We
think
did terminate him.
4 days seems a short period of time to
So all
know
you
man's
knew,
character.
Wait, 4 days seems a short period of time to...
To know a man's character.
Thank you.
right. Okay. Could you read this page out loud, please? I want you to notice you signed it. Could you read it? Read the top.
Regarding Christopher Driscoll, facts.
All right, no. Now, who, did you write this? You and Breen? Right there?
It seems quite likely.
Good. It's exactly. So, read, now, other than being tall and a litigator, you knew nothing else about Driscoll. You prepared that document. Could you please read it now?
The facts we have been made aware of appear to be as follows.
Who's we? You including yourself.
If I had to guess, I would say Jonathan Breen and myself as signatures.
Okay, very good.
1. Christopher Driscoll claimed to be a temporary employee at Liberty Mutual. 2. Driscoll submitted his resume to the Mortgage Specialists, Inc. in an attempt to gain employment with MSI as an attorney. 3. Driscoll was contacted by MSI and informed that he would not be able to interview for the open attorney position. 4. Driscoll made an argument that his temporary employment at Liberty would not present a conflict and demanded an interview, which was subsequently granted. 5. Driscoll was interviewed and hired as an attorney at MSI, presumably by Mike Gill. 6. Driscoll was employed for 1 week and then terminated. During that week, no pleadings were filed by Mike Gill or MSI concerning the Devine case. MSI received the NOD, orders on renewed motions, which dismissed the Devine case in its entirety. 7. Liberty is the insurer of Devine, Millamant, and Branch, a defendant in what was at the time pending litigation concerning Mike Gill and MSI. 8. Driscoll filed appearances for all ongoing lawsuits at the beginning of his employment with MSI. 9. Driscoll has not yet filed withdrawals from any case for which he filed appearances. 10. According to the U.S. Federal District Court for the District of Massachusetts, notices have been sent to Driscoll via email at christopher0152.driscoll@libertymutual.com. This email address has been changed since Driscoll's termination because during his employment notices were sent to him via cdriscoll@mslawyers.org. 11. Due to this change in email address, it appears Driscoll is once again employed at Liberty. Roman 2. Issues. 1. If Driscoll is working for Liberty and is working on the Devine policy in any way, a conflict of interest would likely occur. Little I, the proper recourse for this would be to file an ethical complaint against Driscoll with the Mass BBO. 2. Driscoll has not filed withdrawals as required by the Mass and New Hampshire rules of professional conduct. Little I, the proper recourse for this would be to file an ethical complaint against Driscoll with the New Hampshire ADO and the Mass BBO.
Okay. Now, your testimony was the only thing you remember of Driscoll was he was tall and a litigator.
Yes,
You wrote this document.
I did.
With Breen.
Yes.
There's a lot more that you didn't say you knew. You prepared this document pretty itemized too, didn't you?
Yes, we were provided with that information and we wrote it down.
You provided.
Yes, if you
You
read
created
the
this.
first line, it says
The
made
facts will-
aware of.
Right. Well, you worked with them. I didn't. Oh, well, wait a minute. You wrote this, didn't you? Okay. Now, do you remember reading that part where it said Liberty Mutual?
Yes.
You testified today that you didn't know of any of the attorneys covered by insurers now, didn't you?
I said that I don't know who was covering their malpractice insurance.
Well,
Yes.
in fact, you're saying they may not have it. I'm saying logically they would. Then you said yes.
Wait.
Try to let him, okay, it's tough when there's two of you.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you disclose that Divine Millimat was represented by Liberty Mutual? You
Did
just
I
read it.
disclose?
Did you indicate that Divine Millimat was represented by Liberty?
The document states that I was made aware of the fact that, yes, that is the case.
That's the case. So, did you also indicate on this that Driscoll, in fact, previously worked for Liberty Mutual?
The document says that, yes.
Well, it's more than a document now, isn't it? Because it also, it's on his web address, isn't it? His email
No idea.
address. Okay, but you did write down the fact that it appeared that he went back to Liberty Mutual. Your words, right?
It's drafted on that document that I was made aware of the fact that it appears as though he had gone back to work there.
Wow. So he claimed to work for Liberty Mutual, worked for our 4 days, got all his mail to Liberty Mutual, and afterwards, in your own writings, he's working for Liberty Mutual.
In my own writings, I was told those facts.
Well, wait a minute. You saw the document with Driscoll right here. Why don't we add this? We'll put this in too. We're going to put this and this. We can make it an attachment. Could you read that right here where it says Driscoll's email address?
Let me just stop, you know that, right?
Would you like to mark these first? Or would you like my response?
Sure.
That's you.
Yeah, let's mark it.
What you're seeing here was the evidence, not me saying it, that you saw. Now, what does it say that Driscoll's email address is?
This email appears shows Christopher S.M. Driscoll, Christopher0152.driscoll@libertymutual.com.
Okay, thank you. So, you're aware that Liberty represented Divine Millimat, who we were suing, correct?
If those statements are true, then yes.
Well, they're your statements
No, they were statements I was made aware of,
that you put on this agreement.
which were provided to me.
Well, I just showed you one that it says Liberty Mutual. So let's fact. You can agree if Liberty Mutual is the insurer for Divine Millimat, and Driscoll is still working for Liberty Mutual while working for me, would that be a conflict?
If he was working on Divine Millimet files at Liberty Mutual while representing you, in that case, or is this the specific question you're asking?
Liberty Mutual is the insurer for Divine Millimat, who we are suing, and they are representing. Is it a conflict for him to be working for me and Liberty Mutual at the same time?
If he's working on that file, yes. Otherwise, no.
Really? Well, all you remembered was he was tall and a litigator.
Yes.
Do you remember now that he worked at Liberty Mutual?
I remember being told that he worked at Liberty Mutual.
Did you just see the email address?
Yes, I did.
Does it indicate the address is at Liberty Mutual?
May I?
You want to read that again, but go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. So he works for an insurer. Sarah Wolf Boyd works for an insurer, and so do you, right?
I have no idea where Chris Driscoll works right now.
Well, it says he works at Liberty Mutual,
It says he has an email address through Liberty Mutual.
but he did work there. Do you have an email address at Liberty Mutual?
No.
Me either. You think that might be because we don't work there? Well, that's how stupid you sound.